Yeah, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Howard Kakwadash. Saying double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. So, this is going to be the talk for quite some time about the attempt. That's what they're calling it, the attempt on Donald Trump's life. It's funny, they're already calling him President Trump, even though the election isn't even here yet. But I get it. They're probably just calling him that from last time. But when I saw it, I just said, you know, clearly, this was going to happen. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, we knew that something like this was going to happen because, as what we believe this election to be the most impactful election to date, given the signs of the scriptures and how we're at the end of days. We're looking at what's coming next, and we're looking at everything that happened with Donald Trump previously, and then you got Biden, and then you got the election today. And we already saw, right? We already knew. We said, look, Trump's gonna be the one. He's the man for the job. All these other candidates, Nikki Harris, if I'm saying that right. All them other, they're just part of the theater. They're not gonna get anywhere. And the end of the day, it's gonna be to Donald Trump and Biden, which is really just gonna be Trump. And then lo and behold, he's basically the last one. And next thing you know, there's an attack, an attempt on his life. I said, see, there it is. This is what you have to understand is that anything that happens in Babylon is scripted. Nothing is actually legit or genuine. It's all scripted. Right? We've already prophesied. We already told you that Trump is going to be the man for the job. We already told you that he's the one that's going to usher in the mark of the beast. All you have to do is look at him. If it's one thing, this is a clear indicator that he's set up. Okay, first and foremost, he will always support the state of Israel no matter what. That right there shows you that he's just a puppet. Right. Number two, he talked about protecting the people of Israel. He says the attack back in 2017, I believe it was. And what he's referring to was that incident that happened, I believe it was in Jersey, right, at a grocery store from the Amalekites, right? And apparently the guy who was responsible of it was an Israelite, right? And Trump was the first one to say that. He said people that do something like that deserve the death penalty. So clearly he's just trying to push these agendas and these laws. And third, we basically already broke down that this guy clearly has to be Nero in the reincarnation. And when you understand the book of Revelation, then you understand that Babylon the Great, which is America, is just Rome all over again. And when you understand reincarnation, it's clearly evident that Donald Trump is Nero. And all you had to do is look up what Nero did. And what Nero did, he was responsible for really the downfall of Rome. And also, he was responsible primarily for persecuting the Christians unjustly, falsely. And we know that the Christians are talking about the Israelites. As the scriptures tell you, the insurrection shall be upon the believers. So if you have understanding of the scriptures, then you can clearly see that one, we're at the end. And two, we said back then, we said Donald Trump could very well be the guy because, we were back then, but now we're closer. And it's really all the Lord's will, right? If the Lord allows him to make it that far, but if he makes it to November 5th, he is the man. Like there's not even an election process; it's a selection process. But this is Babylon the Great, and they have to put on a show. You understand? Part of their power is deception. But at the end of the day, they control both sides. They control all of this, and it's only going to work on the stupid people in America, on the stupid people in Babylon who are actually involved in the politics. Isaiah 60 and 2 For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the book of John, 1 John chapter 5, tell you that we know that we are of Yahweh, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. And then, so then you got the gross darkness to people. These people are gross darkness because they actually believe that everything that's going on is acting by nature. They actually believe that somebody tried to do that to Trump and that this all happened and it was out of response because they don't like him. Just completely oblivious to Satan's devices. And look, let's just look, okay? Now, if this really happened, because it was a clear indicator, right? If somebody apparently shot at this man and he gets on the ground, first and foremost, when the security comes, let me turn this down. Okay? Like what the security is doing here, they're not gonna stand there. They're not gonna stand there and hold them around there. First and foremost, that camera, they would cut the feed. They would cut the feed, and they're not gonna just really stand there. Here's life, but they're gonna be stagnant like that. No, this was all. They're just rehearsing. Well, how do you say? You got rehearsal, and then you got the actual play. They're just putting it into effect. Okay. When I first saw it, man, I said, "Yep, there it is." Man, I just went back to playing my video game because I just knew this was it was whack, bro. Like a poor performance. Actual secret service is not going to stand there, right? That they're gonna cut the feed. They're gonna try to get people moving. They're gonna get him out of there. They're not gonna sit there and wait and allow him to speak and talk. They're not even going to listen to his commandment because their job is to secure him. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they're going to drag him out of there, right? If anything, but whatever. And then the crowd, that's how you know that they're, and the crowd's just going to sit there while shots are being fired. They're going to just sit there. Yeah, right, bro. It's just a play, man. The book of Revelation 13. But the point is, right? The point is, all of this is going to usher in to the hard times that the Bible prophesied against, which is the New World Order, the mark of the beast. That's the main thing right there. And because Trump, like I said, Trump is all about passing laws to what? Protect the Amalekites, and he's trying to persecute the believers, persecute the Christians. That's all this is for. Trump is the man for the job. You understand? And all it takes is for them to pull a stunt like that to get people on their side, to win favor over their side. So that now anything that Trump has to say or push, there won't be any resistance because he done already won you over because, he was the man that beat death. Revelation 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Those two horns like a lamb are the plebeians and the patricians, because it's talking about, well, I first should say that other beast coming up out of the earth is America, which is Babylon the Great. And when he said he had two horns like a lamb and he spake as a dragon, what it's referring to is the Republicans and the Democrats, the left and the right, the two wings, right? But mind you, it's two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. So it's two horns, but it's the same beast. It's two wings, but it's of the same bird. And the two horns like a lamb, that's that docile, innocent approach. The idea of the political party is to fool the people into believing that they actually have a decision and they can dictate what goes on in a society. All the while, the true people pulling the strings behind the scenes are just manipulating you into believing and voting, right? Giving your okay and to agree with the change in the policies. But all the while, they're fulfilling their goal no matter what. That's why it doesn't matter who gets in the office. Doesn't matter what you vote against. Their agenda is going to be pushed forward no matter what. That's why ever since you look back at any president, nobody has ever overturned or turned back the direction of the wicked elites and their goal. Every puppet that goes in there, they're just a puppet. They're all pressing the pedal towards the end goal, no matter what, no matter who it is. Doesn't matter Democrat or Republic. It's all a joke. All right, your vote is a joke because at the end of the day, it's the electoral college that decides the final say. And guess who? And guess what does that mean? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're gonna pick who they want to pick. It's just a game. It's to keep you involved, and it's work. It works, right? To the gross darkness of these people, these foolish people, right? You got people trying to go to war, right? Now they want to pick up arms. They want to attack Democrats. You got people cutting off each other's friends, just cutting each other off as friends just because you're a Democrat and they're a Republican. You tried to do this. This is what you led. All the while, the man pulling the strings behind the scenes, the wicked elite, the international bankers, the Amalekites, are lowering your guard, getting you roused up so that when they use this puppet, Trump, to push and pass these laws, you will just go with it. There will be little resistance because the goal is to reduce as much as resistance as possible before they use force. So it says, two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So you see, that's going to be those policies, that enforcement, that new change. You know, every time a bill is passed, a piece of your freedom is taken away. And now they're trying to convince you that it's for the greater good. So you don't need to eat meat. You don't need to eat actual chicken. You need to eat plastic. You don't need your guns. You don't need protection. You don't need to travel out more than 15 minutes out of your city. Right? You don't need cash. You need a UBI, right? We control you, and they're convincing you that it's okay. Because there's no way they can just come out of and be honest with what their goal is to the people. They have to deceive you into accepting what is there and what they want. Okay? So it speaks as a dragon because at the end of the day, those draconian measures are going to come down the pipe on everybody. All the while you want to fight and blame on Republic and Democrat. You want to argue back and forth while all the while they're behind the scenes controlling everything. Right? But you people are too stupid to actually see that you're being played like a fool. You're giving you're giving them the power, and the easiest way to take away the power is to not give a shit and to just say, yeah, whatever, right? It says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and that beast before him was the Roman Empire, and causes the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast, which is the Roman Empire, and their system, whose deadly wound was healed. It was healed because it came back into life by the Renaissance period, which means the rebirth. It was the rebirth of the Roman Empire. And that all that power that exercised before them was one ruler, which was the Caesar, right? He went from a Caesar to an emperor. Look that up. And what that means was that no more was it about people making votes. The one emperor controlled everything. Everybody was under his rule. There was no middle class. You just had the rich and you had the poor. And in this case today, that emperor, the one that controls everything and dictates everything, is in the hands now of a small few, your international bankers. And then the wicked elite, right? And then you got the rich, which is them, and then you have the poor, which is what they want to make everybody just a damn slave. And then they have their final stamp, which is verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. Exactly. That mark is the RFID microchip, which Donald Trump is going to be the one to enforce it. He's going to be the one to bring it about. He's Nero. He's the man for the job. So we all know that all of this is just prophecy heading towards the end. So if you know when we rejoice knowing that we're at the end of this thing, right? But by no means are we deceived and actually thinking that all of this that just conveniently happened was just legit. End of the day, okay, it's a psyop on the American people. It's just a big joke. Okay, Trump was already the pre-selected, but they had to throw in some theatrics in there, right, to really fool the people, to stir people hearts up, to get them roused up. All the while they're gonna pass things slowly under your noses because you're too concerned about what Fox News and CNN is saying is controlled media, right? And at the end of the day, they're gonna push that legislation forward to bring forth that mark of the beast, which is that microchip. And then and only then will you realize you've been played like a fool. Shalom.